indeed. Not only we're going to go 3 episodes this time. This is a super stacked episode of Enterprise at 8. And I'm Jody Simpson. And of course, this is Live Long and Podcast Star Trek Enterprise Rewatch series. This is the final season, of course, so we have to, change things up and like do 3 episodes at a time and stuff like that because let's be honest, we're all fatigued at this point. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, it's been about, I don't know, what do you say, about 20 years?
What?
I love it. So on brand.
No, wait. Oh. What's happening?
You sound like Boimler.
All right. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. He'll eventually interrupt me, I'm sure. Anyway,
it's been about not work, or is it me lagging again?
No,
it didn't work.
It's you, Adam. It's you.
No, it's not you. It's Dave. Anyway, it's been about 20 years since tonight's episode. Well, episodes, Borderlands, Cold Station 12, and the Augments first aired, but we're just getting started here at Enterprise at 8. And as I said, I'm Jody Simpson. Along with me is my co-host and the man who needs to go home and start learning how to speak Klingon, Adam Woodward.
Hello. I should come up with a Klingon bit for you, but I'm good.
20 minutes, tops.
No, that's a different 20.
That was totally terrible. Anyway. This is a train wreck. It's already derailed.
And next, or the mediocre producer.
Yeah, and joining it out of my is Live Long and Podcast Not So Awesome.
20 years?
There he is. 20 years. He's as delayed as Adam is.
It was a combination of things. The num lock was on or off or whatever.
It was just a. You've ruined my whole intro now, but anyway,
it's okay. It's okay.
Live Long and Podcast Not So Awesome producer, the man who is considered painting a bird of prey on the hood of his car to intimidate commuters, Dave Mater.
I might just put it like wear it as a hat around the neighborhood and I run or something. Yeah,
that'd be pretty sweet.
I'm with you, Jody. I like, and we're not just doing this because it's the final season. This is a 3-parter. There's 2 to be continued, so that's why we did it this way.
And there's also going to be next week is going to be 3 as well, but we might not take next week. We might take.
We may have, we'll have to talk about that at the end.
We have some more exciting things that'll happen later on, which we'll let you guys know. And of course, the man who's been waiting forever for his intro, the man whose language is unbecoming of a man of science, Kevin Millard.
Well, sure as fuck is. Jesus Christ.
All right. Well, there goes our rating. All right. Anyway, tonight's episode, as I said, is Borderlands, Cold Station 12, and the Augments, which is part of the Augments timeline, storyline, whatever you want to call it. Arc, I guess it is. This is the 79th, 80th, and 81st episode of the series. These episodes are about Dr. Soon's Augments acquire additional augment embryos as well as biological weapons from Cold Station 12. A desperate plan is devised to use biological weapons to foment a war between the Klingons and Earth in an attempt to flee Earth's control forever. That about sums it up, I think. All right, we're done.
Ratings, please.
Well, okay. And so normally if we do more than one episode, it's almost always a 2-parter for us. This is a 3-parter. Now, the only other time I've encountered a 3-parter before this in our podcasting days is back in Star Trek Deep Space Nine's 2nd season.
Okay, I know what you're
with that Bajoran arc. It had Frank Langella was there for some reason, and
it's boring.
It's all about the circle.
It's all about the circle and whatever, and it's not that entertaining. This is better. There's I think their second attempt to try to do a 3-parter. We have 3 episodes with 3 different names, but they're kind of the same story, And so this worked better. I think that the inclusion of Brent Spiner was good. His use here.
Yeah, he comes out and he does what he's supposed to do, which is be a Soon.
Be a Soon. I don't love this ending with it, but the
ending is a little to be desired, I think, but I like the last line in the ending.
Yeah, no, too much for me.
So is it me, or is Brent Spiner the only character we've seen through Star Trek that has really we've seen him like it's not like he went away from 20 years from him and then came back. It's been like he was in Next Gen, then he was in Enterprise, and he was in, and then you see his age, you see him the years, Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the
And are
original
you
crew,
kidding
like the Kirk and those guys.
Yeah, but even with Kirk and those guys, you had 10 years. Am I lagging?
No, we
A little bit, but not that bad.
okay.
Takes about 5 seconds for him to get the message.
I'm going upstairs.
Okay.
Okay. And Adam
I'm
has
gonna be
signed
here.
off.
I'm just going to move position.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Okay.
on to Adam's point there, which was that, like Brent Spiner's coming back. He's playing another role here, but it's like kind of connected to some of the data and some of the other parts, like, Noonien Soong and
Saves
whoever.
a lot on makeup, that's for sure.
It sure does. Okay, so
National prosthetic.
Kevin watched this. This is the only time he's ever watched this, right?
Right.
So Kevin,
I
first
enjoyed
time
this.
you
I
liked
enjoyed
this.
this. I think it was good. I don't know if I'd give it 10s or anything, but it's good. It's really good. And I mean, I can't believe they had Martok in there and killed him almost immediately.
I
What a
know.
waste.
It was dishonor. Yeah, they brought in J.J. Kurtzler just to play some no-name Klingon.
He just needed a paycheck.
One word
I
out
am
of his
General
mouth, and I
Martok.
was like, "Oh, that's Martok."
I do not want an artificial eye.
That guy does not want an artificial at all. Anyway, shall we get into these episodes? Because we got a lot to cover here.
We have a lot to cover. Over 1,400 screenshots. I'm going to try to go through them quickly, Jody.
Absolutely.
So
Let's just stop at key points.
All right. Yeah. So, okay. The first episode is called Borderland. And starts off with this Klingon ship with J.G. Hertzler playing a Klingon. We don't know. They're finding some shuttle with 2 humans on it. And we get this like 22nd century bird of prey, which I thought looked kind of cool in the episode.
I think it looks great.
This, so they pick it up with a tractor beam. They bring on these 2. One, the guy, this is Malik and another guy. I forget.
The other guy.
We don't know much. We don't know. There's no setup. If you don't know you're coming into an augment arc, this is a little bit jarring. You guys,
It's not going to take that long to do.
Is that a threat?
or more of a prediction? Anyway,
I think he's predicting the whole series. I don't think he's predicting tonight.
Yeah. Well, so Malik and this other guy, they manage to take over the bridge. They shoot all the Klingons. They kill the entire Klingon crew and take over the ship.
They do.
So
There's your cold open.
That's your cold open for the first. I thought it was pretty.
And then it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
It's such a good cold open. It's got a lot of energy. It's dark, and then that fucking song comes in, and you're like, "What is this? Has there ever been a worse opening to a show at all?
Right?
Like one that fits the show less."
What do you mean? Going where my heart will take me, And
Anyway,
I got strength of the heart. I don't know about the rest of you, but
yeah.
I can do anything.
Anyway, so that's you're right. It's kind of a weird thing, especially when you have this really fun, intense thing, and then it's like, oh yeah. So and then right off the bat, we get we're shown that we're on Earth. I think is this meant to be San Francisco? I guess it is, right? It sure looks
let him
like
know
it.
he's muted.
I think so.
Yeah. We get the first title card, Borderland, and we see Brent Spiner in his glory. We see as a prisoner.
I remember watching this episode when it aired, and I remember like right after the credits, and all of a sudden you see Brent Spiner, and you're like, "Wait a second, what the hell?" Because I had no preview of this episode. I'm like, "What the hell is he doing in this?" And then obviously it led to this, which is kind of
I love how the Big Show actually credited
Big
himself
Show's in there.
As the big
as just big, first name Big, last name Show, Mr. Show.
He's Big Show. Well, it was just like when The Rock was on.
But he was still Dwayne Johnson when he came on, right? Or
I think
Dwayne
he
The
was
Rock?
credited as Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but Big Show, he plays a pretty good Orion in this episode.
Mhm.
So we get to meet this Soong. I'm sorry, what Soong is this? Adam Soong? No, wait.
No. This
Eric.
is
Eric Soong. This is Eric Soong. So the great grandfather, presumably, of Noonien Soong, I guess, or something. We find out he's in prison through this conversation that he's had, that he tried to kick off the eugenics wars, like the second eugenics wars. He worked at Cold Station 12, a research facility. He was a pretty accomplished scientist. Also in this early conversation, we know that Soong knows who Archer is, just because Archer's kind of famous now for having saved the planet from the Xindi. But they don't know each other. There's no prior history here either.
No.
So
but
just
later on, you
reputation.
find out that he knows Phlox as well.
Yeah,
Because Phlox actually worked on Cold Station.
yeah,
Or something anyway.
Yeah, he did work there. Yeah, so he knows Phlox, and I don't know. And so you get this early impression of this character, Eric Soong, who we know is a villain, but
He's probably a bad guy.
he's probably
Everybody that looks like Data that isn't Data is a bad
He's
guy.
a bad guy.
yeah, or at least a little bit bad, right?
Exactly.
And so I guess everyone got called back from shore leave and vacation. They're all in their civvies here for the briefing up on the ship, talking about, I guess they're going to go try to find they know that the Klingon vertebrae has been stolen. They're afraid of a war breaking out with the Klingons. It's kind of what.
So let's just stop there for a second. Do you really think they had no time to put a uniform on?
I guess not. Well,
Yeah, but it's-
Hey, when Archer wants to get up out of his chair and talk, you listen. You don't
Maybe.
have time. You don't have time for outfit changes.
T'Pol's the weirdest one because she came from Vulcan, and so this is what she traveled in. So anyway, yeah. But Archer, he's ready to get back to business.
Archer, the sore thumb. He's always got his outfit on anyway.
He's done climbing mountains with Erica Hernandez. He's ready to go
Yeah, he's good.
stop a war. That's his thing. So we catch up with the Augments, who
That
we see
bird of prey looks awesome, by the way.
It really does.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool. Look, I like how it's got like that turret on the bottom section of it too. And it's really small. It's like a small ship, which is nice. Yeah. So the Augments, and then Malik kind of what's this girl's name? Persis.
Persis.
Yeah. So we're getting to know that, and then we meet the other Augment boy leader, who we're told, I guess, is the boss of them. What's his name? Rakin.
Doesn't matter. He dies.
He dies pretty early. Yeah, Malik is like best second in command, but Rakin or whatever his name is, he was going to take the ship and take them to go find a new home. He wasn't looking to start, but we'll learn more and more about Malik. Okay, and so I guess I'm wondering about what do you guys think about Malik? Not just in this first
He's a
episode,
whiny douche.
but across this entire like 3 episodes.
I stand by my statement. He's a whiny douche for all 3 episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's not really the con level supervillain.
No.
that they want him to be.
Right.
Yeah,
He,
and
he seems more like a kid throwing a tantrum rather than
Well, that's basically what he
anything
is,
else,
right?
yeah.
Like he's got very little social behavior. So
What I
Yeah.
explained is that he's also it's like an immaturity they all have, Like, again, they may be stronger, they may be well, they are stronger certainly. They may be smarter, but they don't have the maturity they need to be doing what they want to do here.
yeah,
And certainly not him.
Yeah. So there's not a lot that's redeemable about him at all, right? So
No,
it's hard to find anything likable.
the nice thing I like about him is the fact that I know he's gonna die. You want him to die, so it's good.
Right. Back on Enterprise, Eric Soong comes on board, and he's very condescending and kind of likes to.
Did you notice that we have Mako still though?
Still have Makos.
Which is
Yeah.
good.
I'm sure Archer made sure of that.
Yeah, Archer's like, I don't want to get my hands dirty again.
Yeah.
Did you see how I had to jump out of that explosion the last time? I don't want
Right.
to do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, how many security guards does Reed really need? But he also
Well,
tells
because Reed is completely incompetent, I would say a lot of them.
probably not. He tells Reed that he's not getting his fair share of the publicity on the planet. So she seems Relieved with. And then they're talking around. We also catch up here with T'Pol and Trip, who after she did get married to that guy.
Yep.
Kevin.
If I could give that episode even less than 0, I would now. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so
Home
stupid.
is a bad episode.
The only thing that was any good about that episode is now garbage.
Why do you say that, Kevin?
Because it was pointless. It was pointless.
Yeah, but last week you didn't say that. You said that the Paul story was pretty good.
Because he
It
thought it
was
was going to
pretty
pick up
good.
right away, and the mom was going to stop the wedding, and that was going to be the logical conclusion.
Oh, okay, right. So you're unhappy that she actually went through with it. Got it.
Right, because they were setting up the whole time that this was going to stop, and then they didn't. And now we're going ahead, and none of that mattered.
It's 2 weeks later.
I do like this relationship still going though. You know what's going to happen here. So
Well, I definitely know what's going to happen, but anyway.
Okay. We also get a new chair here for Archer on the bridge, guys. It's got some more ergonomics. It's got contours, extra buttons. What do you guys think?
I love it when he.
I'm not sure it's going to be used.
When he sits in the chair, says, "Yeah, I like it," and then jumps out of it immediately. I love it.
Does that look like a man who likes his chair?
Yeah, he does. So, Dave, you want to do some fun facts along the way here, or how do you want to do tonight?
Sure.
Right.
Or we can do it at the end of each episode if you want.
Okay. Well, let me just talk about this chair because the chair is actually from Nemesis.
Oh yeah,
really?
Yes. In a deleted scene after Riker leaves, Picard sits in it and pushes a button which activates a seatbelt. Thus, his Trip's in-joke about trying not to hit that button. The seatbelt ports are still easily visible on the backrest.
I was wondering why they had that damn button joke in there. Okay. That makes more sense now. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because the worst thing for Archer would be to be strapped into a chair.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
He'd freak out. He'd be like, no!
And I guess if I don't have a lot of fond memories of Nemesis, but okay.
You're just wrong. That's all.
No.
Nemesis is awesome.
You're the only one who thinks that, Jody. Okay, so
no, I'm not the only one.
You're the only one I know.
It's still better than Insurrection.
Is it though?
That piece of crap that was.
Is it? Anyway, so they go out again, guys. They're ready to go out into space again after the new chair.
Use the same animation that we did.
We used the same footage from episode 1 again.
However, they took out the digital people that were working on the ship.
Yeah, the people who waved at them last time, they're not waving anymore.
Yeah, nobody's waving.
Yeah. So
everybody's like, get the hell out of Stardock. We got other things to do.
So they take the ship out and they go to warp and they're back in space, guys, and they're on their way. Oh,
ship's looking good. Doesn't have holes in it this time.
Yeah.
Good.
So we got the scene here in the ready room with Archer and T'Pol where he's it's her first official day now in Starfleet, guys.
Yep.
She is now she's not in the Vulcan High Command. She's a Starfleet officer, and he gives her this gift. Archer gives her a compass. But before we go there, can we just talk about her lack of uniform?
That's what I was just going to say. Why no uniform?
Because their uniforms look so bad. You can't put T'Pol in that. I hate to say it. They're going for the 7 of 9 thing here.
Yeah.
Since when does the uniform look bad? I didn't know you thought the uniform looked bad.
I never liked the jumpsuit. Dave,
I like the idea of the jumpsuit. I think the practicality makes perfect sense. Like these are the first ones out, and they would have a more NASA type jumpsuit.
Right, that's what they would do in NASA.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here we are 4 years later now, and they've already been back and forth to Earth now, 3 times?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think there would have been some kind of adaptation to make them. Are they really practical when they're out
They
there?
were busy fixing the ship. They don't have time to tailor new uniforms.
Oh, but Admiral, what's his name? Forrester has lots of time.
Oh, it doesn't matter about him come 3 episodes from now.
Like Hoshi's a
Spoiler alert.
Hoshi's a good-looking woman. She wears the uniform. It's fine. So if you put T'Pol in it too, we have seen her in it.
Hoshi doesn't have the same assets. That's the key here.
Look, I don't want to say that I think that the writer. Listen, whether right or wrong, she probably looked at it fine. Like I liked Marina Sirtis in a uniform for sure. That was great. But
I like the premise that they actually yelled at her about it. Basically,
yeah, exactly. So could she have fit? But I don't know whether they would have put her in this uniform in today if they had done this series today. Because I think it's obviously sexualizing the role, right? And do we need to do that? Probably not.
Well, they took her what she was already wearing, and they throw the rank and this blue piping on, I guess, to make it look like she's
but she still wears the blue. She still wears the other one. Like she's got like 3 different uniforms in this.
Maybe it's like a heritage thing.
No.
You know, like Klingon. Fucking Worf had that stupid belt thing all over.
I think you're reaching, but
I am reaching for sure.
She's got 3 different uniforms in these.
I just want to keep going.
All right, let's keep going. You watch the blue one. She's got a red one.
Wear uniform.
This one.
Did you guys like that he gave her the compass?
That was nice. Nice touch.
Yeah,
It's fine.
Pretty predictable, but yeah.
All right. Next scene was in sickbay between Phlox and Soong, where they kind of disagree on, I guess Phlox makes it clear the things he doesn't approve of with Soong, which I'm trying to remember what those are.
But the thing I like about how these two kind of interact with each other is you can see there is a mutual respect, even though they disagree on things. There's still this respect thing. Like, the Denoblians, yes, obviously know about him and all that, and the things that led up to the reason why he's incarcerated now. But it's I still like the fact that the interaction between them, like Phlox isn't disrespectful to him. He's treats him as an equal basically while he's talking. I just like that.
What the beef between him and Phlox is, Phlox says that the Noblians use genetic enhancements for the betterment of their species.
Yep.
But Soong is trying to rewrite the species. Like he's trying to create
a new species,
basically a new species.
Yeah.
To replace humanity.
Yes, Eric is related.
Eric
kind of.
Soong, this guy, he's not related to.
Actually, no, he's not related to him.
He's not related to Khan specifically, but maybe because now that they've retconned that his ancestor Adam Soong was somehow involved in the Khan program based on Picard season 2, who I don't know.
It's likely he is.
Yeah,
but
it's not very clear. Anyway, so then Enterprise is attacked by Orions, guys. In the next,
I love
scene.
them Orions.
Those Orions come along, and
here comes the big show.
Yeah, T'Pol and 9 other crewmen get beamed away. There's a lot of confusion. He's like, I just gave her a compass, and now you're taking her away from me. I
don't think the compass is going to do much good in space anyway, but that's fine.
He's not happy. He goes to Soong. You knew these Orions were going to attack. He goes, there were never Orions around here. But Adam kind of Eric. This is Eric Soong.
Eric, yeah.
Not Adam Soong. Eric Soong kind of set him up. But he's like, I'll help you find them. They'll be taken to some kind of slave auction processing. So they're gonna have to chase them down. Then we go over to the Bird of Prey and catch up with Persis and Malik, who they basically talk about the other guy, the whatever his name is, the other augment leader,
the big goop.
Rakin guy, that he doesn't agree with his leadership and he wants to be leader. He's the strongest. And Persis is like, well, I wanted to be with the strongest boy, and whoever that is, she's kind of like a Lady Macbeth type almost, she's
whore. What?
She just, so she kind of conspires with Malik to overthrow her current boyfriend, and who is also her brother. So it's kind of confusing.
Just remember, these augments, they're double the strength of a normal human and 5 times the intelligence, and yet they still can't tailor a suit.
Well, they don't. Yeah, they have lack of resources.
I actually like their whole get up. It's very reminiscent of Wrath of Khan.
Yeah,
like the way
there's a few things in this that are really a big, not.
I understand why they did it. I just don't know.
Well, they were kids when they got abandoned, right? And so they had to just make do with whatever clothes they had at the time.
They have a spaceship.
They didn't have a spaceship.
They kind of stopped somewhere and got some clothes.
Well, after 13 years or whatever, I don't think it was as much of a priority anymore because they're all sexy now and they like to take off their clothes.
That's true.
Anyway, over onto this Orion auction where T'Pol and the Big Show are hanging out. She's having
I liked this whole set piece way more than I should have. I just loved it.
Yeah,
especially all the stuff in the background.
What about this guy that Ensign? I can't remember his name right now.
Frady Cat.
Frady cat.
Yes, and Frady cat, exactly.
Yeah, he's having a bad first week on the job here, I think. Or
He's
first
like,
day.
I only joined back in Stardock.
Yeah, he wasn't out there before. He just
Yeah.
came in. So
I imagine this is his first day.
yeah,
It's my first day.
and he's in an Orion slave
these-
market.
And these green people have taken me.
Yeah, it's
So I don't know about this. Like,
And
would they
Jaemeel
really have
is
taken
like,
somebody so
It's not
green?
going to be okay, buddy.
why did they only take 10 people? Why not all the people? And like, there was just some things I thought were
Maybe they only have so much cage space.
I guess. Anyway, so Enterprise shows up at the planet, and then they use a code that Sung gives them, and they're able to get into the market. But then Sung agrees to go with Archer because Sung knows this place, I guess, because he had used it years ago. And so, but they put like a little tracker in him so that if he tries to run away, they're going to beam him away.
See how many people they're putting in that transporter there? Oh boy.
They're very comfortable now, Jody.
Yeah, they're whoa.
If
That's way too many.
if anything, this shows you in this episode or these 3 episodes is, man, they just don't care about the transporter is just now second nature.
It's just what
they're like,
they just use
There
it.
was this big planet-wide, weapon that was gonna like destroy all of Earth. So I guess this really doesn't matter.
Yeah, Archer had to get over it a few times.
Yeah.
A few times it saved his life. Anyway, so
I like
T'Pol
how they
and-
put straw down though. That's classy.
I guess because they have to go to the bathroom or take yeah. Then there's this whole scene here where
I
T'Pol
love how he
gets,
just holds her and she's just like stiff as a board. She's like, whatever.
yeah. All
It
these
really shows how small she is, eh? Just
well, that guy is like 7 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
no,
show.
I know.
Big
She
Show
is
is- I
actually
think
very
he's-
short. Like when
Yeah.
I don't actually think she's that short.
hold
I'm gonna
on,
look
I'm going
that
to
up.
tell you.
Oh,
how
I think
short
she is.
Yeah,
Is she?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you know here.
Let's
Just give me a
find
second.
But yeah.
Anyway.
The big show going on. Yeah. And then he's like, because she sells for a lot of money, I guess.
Yeah, and he's like, my wife didn't even sell for this or something like that.
yeah. His performance is kind of fun.
I like this whole scene. This is just quirky, stupid. I like it.
Yeah. Well, the episode's called Borderland, and this is them in the Borderland trying to kind of figure out where this is where they just started their investigation to try to get to the bird of prey to find the augments, prevent a war. But on the way, here they are with the Orions. We also see an Orion slave woman on auction, and he's like, they even enslave their own people. And Sung says, just the women.
Just the women.
I think we're getting another episode later this season about that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
Sorry, she's 5'7". She's not that so short.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought she
But
was.
but the Big Show is 7 foot.
Yeah, he's like 7 foot. Yeah.
yeah. I thought the Orions looked really good in this episode. All their makeup looked really
Yeah,
good.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
I think all the aliens in the background, even like I went through this scene like pretty slow and just kind of looked in the backgrounds and stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff in the background.
There's something with the modern Orion makeup that's too green. It's almost too punchy. Like when you see it on like Strange New Worlds now and stuff. Like
Yes. I agree.
Okay, go back to the original series episode and see how green they were there too. It was very green.
That's true. They were, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I like this version a little more. I don't have that handy. Anyway, so then up on the bird of prey, while Archer and Sung are trying to break out to Paul, there's this confrontation here between Malik and the other guy he's gonna kill, and Persis like sets him up, right? Because she's like, oh, he wants to take over you, he wants to kill you, and she kind of like whispers in his ears and gets him all ready to go after Malik, and he's like, I'm gonna kill my brother. So like, so he's gonna go on back on the planet. We see that Ensign Scaredy Cat is getting auctioned off here.
No,
I don't even
he's
think-
not, though.
No, nobody
He's not
bought him
doing
though.
it. Like he's got no bids.
Yeah,
And
nobody
he's
bought him.
But just based on his face, like I don't understand why did everyone
Pretty much.
want T'Pol? They don't know anything about her either.
Yeah, I know, but he's got like nothing's happening behind him, like in that board. And then finally Archer bids for him.
But I also think if it's commonplace for them to sell their women, I'm guessing women go for a much better
Maybe.
price than men do.
So she's just based on her being a woman.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Archer has to trade some of his.
Look at that Enterprise. There's no holes in it.
No, it's been patched
I
up.
haven't seen that for a while.
They got the ensign back. They're pulling out the device. They got some of their people back at this point in the episode, right?
Yeah, they got a couple back.
Yeah. Then there's the confrontation here between Malik and Buddy.
Bro's
That
got
guy-
like a sawed-off shotgun or something.
Yeah, I was like, is that a Klingon gun?
I
Must be.
guess.
I did like this. I did like where he was like, I would never let you trap me. And he goes, but I did. Like, that's great supervillain stuff right there.
Yeah.
That's his best moment whole episode.
whole 3 episodes, I think.
Yeah. Well, the only thing, like everything here, because only 3 of these augments ever speak, right? Him, Persis, and Malik, right? And so the others are just extras. And I think that the fact that I don't know, it's hard to really understand because it's clear that they're human beings and they have an emotional attachment to Eric Sung and to each other, but they're also augments, so therefore the superior ambition. And
Well,
so
they're very juvenile, which is also, I guess, comes with the territory, right? As Adam said earlier, like they're very juvenile and they act like they're 10-year-olds in schoolyard. Like that's
that's what they would act like, right? Because you mature through being a part of a society.
Yeah, which
Sure.
they weren't.
They were not.
They were not. They only had each other, and they were pretty much on their own from the time they were like 10. It seems like so.
Well, yeah, because Sung's been incarcerated for a while, so
Right. So he kills that guy, and then they dump him out the airlock, and then Persis starts to cry, and he says, "No tears for him. Don't be crying. Don't cry for me, Argentina." Back on the planet. There's a scene here where Sung and Archer have to like drug this Orion guy, but he doesn't like go down right away from the hypospray. He like,
well, he's a big boy.
He falls over eventually.
I love the confused looks at him too. Like, is it gonna work?
Yeah, is he gonna drop or not?
Yeah. Back in the slave market here.
Go back a couple. One more. Just trying to figure out what alien that is on the left-hand side there in the cage. Weird.
Oh,
Anyway.
I can't tell. But the guy in the middle is a Tellarite.
Yeah, we know he's a Tellarite. Yeah.
So yeah, then Big Show says, "I might keep you for myself, even though I sold you." Anyway, he's dragging her around. The Tellarite buyer, who I guess bought her. And then they're able to open all the cages, and they start this whole like sort of
Jailbreak.
The slaves are free. The slaves are free. And so, but then Archer also gets stung by Sung here, with one of those rods.
Of course.
And it's chaos.
That's quite a capture.
I love this Big Show character. I mean, I would have watched a spin-off with him.
Yeah,
Like,
no, he was great.
just him, like, running the market.
She kicks him in the balls here, and then like,
oh, look at that.
Yeah, I don't belong to anybody. He's just going down.
Reminds me of that movie from the 80s. What was it? Little Monsters?
Yeah, with Howie Mandel.
Like that. Was it Howie Mandel? Oh no, I'm thinking. What was it? Ghost Squad or something like that? Monster Squad. That's it.
Oh, Monster Squad.
And they kick, the little boy kicks the werewolf in the nuts, and it's like, "Werewolf's got nards" or something like that. He says.
That's
Pretty funny. Anyway.
I like that movie too. So anyway, Sung is trying to escape from the slave market in all this chaos as they're getting like T'Pol and the others out. So Archer has to like chase after him here, and he's watching him along. And Archer still has this little device, and he's able to kind of catch up with Sung just as he's about to get away.
Oh, I like this scene.
Oh, there's just this part here where like this guy's like, "Hey, help me, Sung, help me," or he doesn't know his name, but he goes, "Help me, don't let them take me." And Sung just keeps going. He doesn't try to help. Doesn't try to help him.
So Archer has like put his wrists together now.
Yeah, Archer like magnetically put his wrist together because they have like these handcuffs that kind of he can turn on and off, and then he's able to beam him out. So they get him, they recapture him, put him in the brig. Then Archer
puts like one of 4 times that he's captured.
He keeps capturing Sung, throwing him back in, letting him out, putting him back in.
I think we know why he ended up in D tier.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the thing with this character is that he's a bad guy, but he's not like a cold-blooded killer or anything. He stops short of that, but he's
a bad guy until the end, and then he's not. As
no, but even through the torture and everything, he doesn't want to. Like, he's not
Well, he constantly makes it clear to the Augments, like, do not take lives. Like that's.
But he's
not-
okay beating their asses. He's okay, like,
Oh yeah, he's okay
torturing
torturing the shit
them.
out of people. Yeah, he
Yeah.
just doesn't want to kill anybody.
or having them, like, suffer or go into slavery or whatever. But he doesn't have. But beyond that, anyway. So T'Pol had a rough day, and then just catch up here in sickbay between her and Trip. Where she's like,
I did not go on a honeymoon.
Vulcans don't have honeymoons. I'm still holding a torch for you, Charles. I mean, Trip. Yeah. Anyway, back on the bridge, Archer.
I like how everything stops when we see Malcolm, and everybody's just like, whatever.
Hey,
Oh my god! I got a quick aside. Ashley was watching. She was watching Minefield the other day.
Oh,
I left the room. I went downstairs. I came back near the end of the episode, and she goes, "What is wrong with his personality?" Like,
everything,
hated it. She was just
everything.
like, what?
He's
Malcolm?
It was pretty
Everything.
funny. Yeah, she was like, "Malcolm, what is wrong with his personality? He is the worst."
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know, but he had to work here because this is when the Orions come back. They come to attack, and they want T'Pol and the others back. But then they're saved by the bird of prey and the Augments, who come out and attack.
Now,
And-
is it just me or the Klingons being a warrior race and everything? Is it kind of silly to have a ship where it's got this nice long skinny neck on it?
Well, the design of the bird of prey and like the Klingon ships in general has been sometimes criticized. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Seems like a big weakness.
Yeah.
But it is and it isn't, because the ship's really fun to fly. It's very like
It's one of my favorite looking ships for
Oh,
sure.
I love the look of
you
it.
gotta remember you're still got your shields, so you don't only have to worry about your neck getting cut off.
I just think the neck. I mean, but you got to remember, like, that's got to be a corridor. That how many people can actually go down right back and forth, and
it does. Like, this is a pretty small ship, but when you look at like a D7 battle cruiser that's like super long like that, it's even more so pronounced like that. But like they also have like these pretty impressive torpedo tubes, and everything's built around their weapons, right? So
Yeah.
it's just a different philosophy in the ship design. And so, yeah, but it's kind of cool to see them docked here side by
in
side.
ship design. I was reading somewhere about how when you look at Star Trek ships, and all the species have like a bridge, and it's forward or on top of the starships. But when you get to the Borg, it's just a minimalist cube, which shows no imagination, no creativity, and obviously non-humanoid,
And not non-centralized.
And one of the best ships to be defending in.
Exactly.
Like literally, it takes them forever to take one of those things down.
Yeah.
True. So yeah, but I really do like. I still understand the bird of praise. It has some practical purposes. Anyway, so they have this meeting here between Malik and Archer in the ready room. I thought this was really dumb on Archer's part. The fact that he managed to get himself taken hostage in this conversation with a Mako and Reed.
With a
present.
Mako and Reed there. That's what makes it even more
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, he's talking to Malik, and Malik doesn't like Earth or humans or other humans or non-augments and whatever, and he ends up taking Archer's throat. He's gonna rip his throat out.
But this gets back to my point about the Klingon ships. Necks are a weakness.
True. Yeah. So this goes on, and then all the augments attack. These Makos were all useless against the augments. They all got mowed down very
Look
quickly.
at that chick's name though.
S Money.
Money. Yeah.
It's taking him through here, and then they break out Eric Sung, jailbreak here. Persis, who seems like the most loyal to him. She loves her
Well, and
daddy.
he hasn't seen these. Hasn't seen these people in what 10 years? They said or something.
Yeah,
like that?
11
It
years.
was like
Yeah.
more
11 years. Yeah.
11 years.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
11 years.
Yeah. And so he's reunited with his kids. Malik, there's this reunion between him and Malik, and Malik's, it's kind of it's a heartfelt family reunion.
This is before he realizes that Malik is literally like a little prick that doesn't listen to anything.
He mentions Malik earlier in the episode, saying he was the rebellious one. Of my
Yeah, well, he
kids.
sure is in these episodes.
Right.
He does a lot of shit that Sung basically yells at him for. So
Right. trying to come in here. Anyway, so he's like, because and again, Malik wants to destroy Enterprise, and he's like, why do we need to destroy them? By the time they repair their ship, we'll be long gone.
Nobody frames evil. Go back one. Yeah, nobody frames evil better than Brent Spiner. Look at that framing. That's just amazing.
Yeah, he's got a good. He plays a good villain.
He just lights up the screen when he does that.
Yeah, and so they take off. I like how there was a green
And
flash.
they gone.
Green flash when they go to warp on that bird of prey too. That's
Yeah,
neat.
that
sense.
was nice. A nice
Everything has to be color coded. Right?
Yeah. And then there's like this scene here on the bridge of the bird of prey, where it kind of ends the first episode. Here where he's like, together we are going to break out all of your brothers and sisters from Cold Station 12, which sets up the next episode. That it's not just these 12 augments or 20 augments. It's going to be
No, they have like hundreds of them there.
Yeah, so that's part one, which I thought was pretty good. I think
It wasn't bad. Yeah,
sets up all the characters and gets them all, so you kind of understand what's going on, and then you're like, okay.
I like the Orion stuff the most.
Right.
Yeah.
So then we go into the next one, which is
Hold on. Let's get some things out of the way here before we move on. So,
all right.
Okay. So Eric Soon, which is spelled with an A-R-I-K, is played by Brent Spiner, as we know. Comments from the production staff, as well as the casting of Spiner, indicated that Eric Soon was intended to be the great-grandfather of Noonien Soon, Data's creator. This is supported by Eric Soon's comments about cybernetics when he said that developing artificial life may take a generation or two at the end of the third episode. So while writing his notes, it can be noted that Eric Soon is left-handed, just like his great-grandson and his android.
I noticed that. Yeah.
This is a fun one. The character Persis is a named tribute to Persis Kambata, who played Lieutenant Ilea in the motion picture. She died of a heart attack in 1998 at the age of 49.
Oh, the Delton in the first.
The Delton, yeah. The costumes and makeup worn by the Augments intentionally serve as a bridge in similarity to the eugenics wards veteran seen in Wrath of Khan. And I think Kevin called that out. And this is the first live action appearance of Orion since Star Trek franchise from Whom Gods Destroy in 1969, 35 years earlier.
We hadn't had any Orions in all of Next Gen or D Space.
I don't think we did. Yeah.
Wow.
We didn't see any.
We had the Orion Syndicate a lot in Deep Space.
Well, there were no Orions. Were there?
Orions.
There were no Orions. Yeah.
No, all right. Oh, there you go.
This episode confirms that Makos are still stationed on Enterprise, even though the Xindi mission has ended. This will remain so for the duration of the series.
Yep.
When Paul Wright's character picks up T'Pol and shakes her with excitement, and she is sold off into slavery. This was done with no wire work or stunt work, due in no small part to his massive size and strength. Wright was able to pick up Blaylock almost with no effort by himself.
Yeah.
Well, I think she's probably a pretty small girl to begin with.
He's used to picking up The Rock and
weight-wise.
Undertaker and other people.
Yeah.
She's very petite for sure.
Yeah.
The Klingon, I think you mentioned this at the beginning of tonight. The Klingon captain, played by J.G. Hertzler, was also played many Star Trek roles, most famously the General Martok in Deep Space Nine.
Martok.
He also played that Klingon lawyer advocate that Archer had, right, back in the Rura Penthe.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was like, what is this, like his brother? Is this like his cousin? Like in this one?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. He's dead.
Yeah.
This is actually his last appearance in Star Trek here as the Klingon captain. At this point, he had been a Star Trek guest for 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think I'll end it there, and we'll move on to the next series.
Yep, we got lots to cover.
Okay, so second episode, Cold Station 12, guys. This 11 years
There you go,
earlier.
11 years earlier. That just solves that answer right there.
Yeah. They degrade some of Brent Spiner's hair. And we see this flashback scene where he's teaching the kids about the eugenics wars and how humanity came to fear the Augments for their superior abilities and gifts, jealousy, really. And that it kind of colored everybody's viewpoints on people like them who have genetic enhancements.
They did a fairly good job matching kids, too.
Yeah, well, this is supposed to be Malik. Yeah.
That's Malik, and then the girl that you saw earlier that's supposed to be, what's her name? Persis or whatever.
Persis is here.
But you know what's interesting here again is like, you know, you've got Soon who is really, really setting up humans are going to fear you. You've got to take control essentially.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
right.
You know?
Yeah. He kind of puts that thought into Malik's head as a kid. Right.
Yeah, well, he kind of does. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we come down here to present day where Soong is breaking down his plan, right? We're going to break into Cold Station 12 and whatever else. But Malik's already having his doubts. He doesn't like sharing leadership here.
Well, not only that, but he's questioning everything his father is telling him. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. He's like, no, I know how to do this correctly. You've been gone for 11 years.
Right.
You know, that's basically, you know, his, you know, dad went for milk and never came back kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those.
Malik's only been in charge for like 5 minutes before his dad came back into the
Exactly.
fold,
Yeah.
right.
Like,
Too.
yeah.
So there's also a bit of that. So it's been a long road. That's a teaser for them. Okay.
Getting from there to here.
So the second part, after the credits, the shuttle of Enterprise comes down. We see this facility where all the augments grew up on, where they were hiding away.
And they basically went there because Brent Spiner's character basically gave them coordinates to go to before all this other stuff happened. So they're just kind of following this lead, hoping to find something.
Right. They find out that some medical equipment was taken from the place, but they need to find out what kind.
This looks like the stuff in Midbay.
Turns out it was an incubator. So, because I always kind of wondered, like, okay, like, who did Eric Soong go on to marry and have kids with in order to have a great grandson in Noonien Soong? But maybe he didn't even need to. Maybe he just made them in an incubator. Maybe so. Maybe it's just a clone. I don't know. But down here in this little facility, while they're investigating, looking at the home movies here, and kind of trying to piece together what have been taking place with the Augment kids, is it Malcolm who gets attacked first by this other guy who he'll come to be known as Shrike, I believe. Is that
Schmike, yeah.
Schmike. Yeah, so he's one of the Augments, but he's not. He doesn't have any superpowers except for super hearing. Which we
don't find out until later in the episode.
We don't find out until later in the episode, but
don't get too attached to this guy, by the way.
Yeah. But they left him behind. But he grew up here with them too. He's one of their siblings, I guess one of the 19.
Why did they leave him behind? Did they mention that?
Because they hate him because he's not good enough. So,
oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
They, because they're a little elitist, these Augments, don't you guys think?
Well, that's the point.
That is kind of the point, though. They think they're better than us because they are.
Because they are.
Yeah.
Do you think they're a little elitist? That's incredible.
Well, they don't have superior compassion. They don't have superior heart.
Nope, they don't need those things.
Right.
Neither do other people who think they're superior.
True.
Donald Trump.
But there are plenty of ways in which they're inferior to regular folk, in my opinion. Even though they can do these other things, which are incredible. Anyway, so there's this whole conversation here between Soong and Malik about how he killed his brother. Right? He's like, "What happened with your brother? I haven't seen him. Where is he?" And then Malik makes up a story that he attacked him. He doesn't give him the real story.
No.
Exactly. He starts kind of fake crying. He's like, "He was your brother," and he puts him against the wall. Even though Malik is 10 times stronger than Soong, the fact that he's his dad definitely still does have an emotional impact here on him. Even though by the end of this whole arc, that will seem to have faded away quite a bit. But here where he's hugging and Soong kind of forgives them, and Malik's like, "Yes, I fooled him." There's kind of like that sense of it here.
Later on, I'm going to steal weapons and stuff, and he's not going to know.
Right. Down in sick bay here with no, this is with
they're getting Smike checked out.
This is where Phlox explains. Yeah, Schmike is an augment, but he doesn't have like the super powers. He's just a regular person, and so we get a little bit more perspective into the augments through Schmike about why they fear humans.
I believe the description of him is cannon fodder, but
yeah. So him and Archer sort of form a relationship slowly over this episode. Trip explains the whole incubator thing, and then here's a scene with
see, she has a top that doesn't have 1,000 holes in it.
Yeah, well, this is after the sexy time. I guess some Klingon mattresses are a little bit soft, huh?
I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but anyway,
Well,
so
they also had a escape pod, which I found funny later too.
yeah. But this is where Malik was
Actually,
starting
that's
to
a good point. I never
Yeah.
put that together. Yeah.
Malik was questioning
Nice
Soong,
picture, Dave.
Show
And-
me your old face.
and
Oh.
and Persis didn't like it. She kind of she tries to put him in line and say, "Don't you be questioning our father, or else you've been a bad boy."
Well, she's
And-
loyal to whoever's in charge. That's really what it is.
Kind of feels like that, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So with these two in their relationship, and then
Wait a second. Hold on here. Aren't they brother and sister?
not biologically,
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
but
All right.
kinda.
Not like in the sense of like
It's
James
like
two
it's like
boys.
stepsister and step.
Yeah, it's like Foster's sister.
Look,
Yeah.
it's bad enough. Let's just move on. Yeah.
Let's just move on.
Yeah. So I don't know. So they're planning. I don't know. There's some scene here with Archer talking to Paul and Trip about something.
Yeah, no one cares.
Not
Right.
sitting in his chair again, like his brand new chair.
I think they were talking about Cold Station 12. I think they're kind of setting up what Cold
Yeah.
Station 12
They're just
is.
explaining what it is. Yeah.
And then it's run by the humans and Denobulians. Cut over to the Denobulian shuttle with this Denobulian woman, who is like thinks
This
she's
would be
responding
like the third Denobulian we've seen in the series.
fourth, maybe
Fourth, yeah.
for fifth. But yeah, she's responding to what she thinks is a distress call. But it is.
I
Like,
love that shot though. Just how the ship is towering over that ship just looks so cool.
Yeah, even though it's not a big ship at all.
No, it's still towering over it though.
Yeah, and so they take this Denobulian over here to Archer and Phlox.
Also, like how they kept her uniform and sort of in line with what he's wearing. Dr. Flox wears as well.
Yes. Yeah.
This it? I have to look.
Well, I
It's
mean,
a
the
very gray utilitarian.
yeah,
type thing, yeah.
utilitarian, yeah.
Right.
It looks like it's got the same collar thing as from the motion picture. Not the first one, the second one, where they got that like white collar thing.
Yeah. Schmeik. Then is this where they use the shuttle to sneak into Cold Station 12? Yeah.
Yeah, because they think they're receiving a Denobulian, but they're really.
And this guy's like, "You're not Denobulian," and then Persis just punches him.
that guy is so quick. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
He's like,
She-
"You're not Denobulian."
She does the undercut to him, and he literally does a backflip. I'm like, I don't think you could punch anybody that they would do a backflip. I think their head would come off first.
She has
Um,
like double the strength, my man.
No, but if you could punch somebody in the jaw hard enough to make them backflip, I think that you would decapitate them first.
You notice
before-
he's got
well,
red
he ain't
stripes?
getting up.
Red stripes.
no, that's my point. I think he should be dead.
Did
from
he have
that.
red stripes on?
He did.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
that
red
makes
shirt.
sense.
Yeah. Red stripe. So yeah, so Soong's taken over, initiating Portugal 47. What could that be a reference to, guys?
No.
Oh yeah, and then they're like he's flooding it with the gas, and then but apparently the augments don't need gas, only Soong does. So and then we finally get to meet this doctor guy. What's his name? Doctor. Come on.
I don't remember.
1 second.
I just remember him from thousands of different sci-fi movies.
Dr. Lucas?
Dr.
I think
Lucas.
that's it.
Lucas sounds right. Yeah.
Jeremy Lucas, as played by Richard Riley,
Richard Riley, that's him.
who's done a ton of character work.
Tons.
Tons and tons and tons. Yeah, so I kind of like this idea Cold Station 12, guys. Like it's kind of a cool idea they threw into this episode as this facility for infectious disease. It's kind of like the CDC in space, right?
Space CDC.
Yeah. Code
Uh-oh,
Black.
Code Black. That's
Uh-oh.
the worst
Code
one.
Black alert. We might be going on the
When
spore
you have
drive.
a lack of color, that's the worst one.
Yeah. So they're taking over Cold Station 12. There's this Schmeik and Archer have this dinner where they're talking about Earth and some of those things.
Well, at least Malcolm isn't there.
Yeah. Is this where he starts talking about his biological parents? Yeah, he gives them the
Yes,
pad.
yeah. He's like, these are actually your biological parents. Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have a
Which
picture?
one of them is just clearly him?
Yeah, one of them's just him with like a mustache. I only got a picture of the mom here. But yeah, there were, I guess, a couple Russians, it seemed like.
Yeah.
That he was genetically engineered from a different time.
Steak and potatoes, man. I could live there.
Yeah. And asparagus.
My 3 favorite things.
Phlox is also getting a big meal, getting ready for his next hibernation cycle in a few weeks.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not hungry.
Trying to put on some body weight.
The chef must be absolutely pissed off with him. They're like, why do we have to make all this shit and you just look at it? Asshole. Yeah.
Maybe he'll eat it. There's quite a bit going on there. Yeah.
Well, he's trying to gain 10% of his body
10%
weight.
of his body weight, yeah. He's got to hibernate soon.
Yeah. That was hilarious when he was hibernating on the Rise of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway. I clearly have too many screenshots from this scene.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't have the time.
So he throws all the staff in the little room there.
Right. And so he's trying to get the augment embryos from Lucas, but Lucas won't give him the code, and he doesn't want to kill Lucas, so he's going to have to try to coerce him in some way.
Somebody's trying to do some like hacker shit.
They're trying to, get into it anyway, but that's not going to work, of course. And then as they're coming towards Cold Station 12, Sung says, "I'll kill everybody unless you turn around right now. I have Dr. Lucas and all your buddies." And so he's, but you're still approaching. So he manages to get Archer to back down temporarily.
Which really all Archer does is just do a 180 and then he like teleports a whole bunch of people down.
Pretty much. Which is kind of what Malik says he's going to do anyway.
Yeah.
But
it's
Sung
not like Malik was wrong the whole time. He's just a dick.
Well, like Sung's willing to threaten, he's willing to saber rattle for sure, but he's not necessarily willing to go through with killing people. But he's like, "Do you want to see what this Klingon disruptor will do to his skull?"
Yeah, at this range.
Yeah. So definitely a villain. Hard to say, Malik and him, and then they just do the 180. Oh yeah, Phlox wants to be part of a landing party for once. I forgot about that part. He asked about that in the kitchen.
Two Makos and Malcolm
and Schmeik.
Yeah.
And then back down here, they're beating Lucas down. They're punching him, and
but I like the fact that they're showing that Eric is actually not enjoying it. Like you see him in the background, he's like wincing and shit. Like he's like, oh, like don't do that.
Yeah, so his villainry is kind of complicated because
But I don't think he's really the villain. Like,
he is a villain.
Well, he's a villain, but I don't think he's a villain as much as, let's say, his fucking kid is.
No, Malik is more like, at least Sung seems to have some redeemable.
No,
he has a bit of a moral center, at least,
and ignores it. That makes him worse.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, maybe, yeah. Like
he knows what he's doing is wrong. He is repulsed by what he is doing.
But he's still doing it.
Do it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess you're more forgiving of Malik then.
No,
he's
Malik's
just who he is,
and he's young and he's dumb.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then he's like, why do we put one of the doctors, Dad, in one of those tubes and release a pathogen at him? And Sung doesn't want to do it, But eventually, kind of, he's like,
I want to know what all those green lights mean.
Well, what he said, like Dr. Lucas is not bending. So he said, well, maybe, he's right. Like, let's go for somebody he cares about. If he doesn't care about himself.
Yeah. Some people are more brave with their own lives than they are with others. Right. Because I think, this struggle here that Sung wants to succeed in his mission, but he's only willing to go so far. There's that whole scene where he stuns him here, and it's like it took like a full kill shot, right, to stun him.
Three shots. Three
of them. Yeah, 3 of them.
Yeah, he said, "What does it actually take to kill him?" Yeah, they put this. Does this guy die? The guy they put in the
tube?
Yeah, he dies.
Oh, he dies.
Soon tries to save him, but it doesn't work. He's too late.
And on top of that, like, there's more scenes after that, and the guy is still sitting in the tube, like dead. Like he's on the bottom of the tube, dead. It's great.
Right. Yeah, he died of some kind of.
That guy made some good money just sitting there doing nothing, though.
Right. Yeah, but it was like I think the point was how horrible a death was. All your capillaries explode and then you bleed out from the inside. Like it's
a bad
every
bug.
Extremity is burning.
I guess everyone else is safe on this side of the plexiglass. So,
Well, he's in a tube.
Yeah. So they're trying to.
I'm not sure what the standing man tube sized tubes are really useful for, though.
Well, I think we've got one use.
We got one use
Yeah,
right there.
I'm pretty sure they don't send people to Cold Station 12 to execute them.
It's an
How
agonizer.
do you know?
It's an
It's
agonizer.
the agony boost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
I bet he was totally repurposed for the agony. boost.
maybe Section 31 runs this place.
Yeah. So they're trying to get Lucas to break, but he won't break, and as this guy's melting away. Yeah. And then finally, Sung says, "Release the anti-pathogen," but it's like kind of it's
too late.
It's too late. Yeah.
Woo!
Sorry, I didn't have time
No,
to
that's
edit
fine.
these ones as much.
Well, it's a lot of the same shit, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah. I should have deleted that photo.
There's Schmikey right there.
Oh yeah, Schmakey's like, I have their hearing. They're coming. And then Percy's like, we're already here.
Yeah, we're already here, douchebag.
And
He
now
like
we know
yells
why
it from the corridor too, which is even better.
now we know why they left him behind. Like,
Yeah.
He is
you kind of
useless.
endorsed the decision, right? You're like,
Yeah.
Run to the litter.
At this point, Archer's like, okay, I get it. Maybe
Right.
we'll put
And
you back there.
So this is where T'Pol and Trip are trying to kind of figure out what to do back on the ship, I guess.
Yep.
I found this scene was a little, like, it was starting to drag a little bit here.
Yeah,
it was
for
very
sure.
long. Yeah.
Like we have this big set, we have to use it. Yeah. The reunion here of Dr. Lucas and Dr. Phlox.
Yeah, because they work together, right?
Well, all those the dear doctor. Every time Phlox wrote a letter, he was writing a letter to that guy. You know?
Oh, was
Where-
it him? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never put
Yeah.
that together.
Yeah. So there's it's like his best friend, kind of, you know. So Schmeik is reunited here with Sung, and Sung doesn't love him any less, you know, even though he doesn't have the
No, but you got to remember, Soong didn't pick them to leave. He was already gone. These guys all left on their own, didn't they?
Yeah, they told him he died.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, they told me you died, and he's like, well, not so much.
Well, and I
Yeah.
think this is kind of the turning point for Eric, because Eric is kind of like, what? You know,
this is
like-
what he's really like with Malik going, Malik's way worse than I thought.
Yeah. He's a little bit more unhinged than I thought. Yeah.
But I bet you it was the other brother, the one he killed, that left Schmeik behind.
Maybe.
More so than Malik did. But you know,
They probably left him because of that fucking haircut.
yeah.
My God.
Hey, these mullets are something else. They're going for some serious con mullets.
Well, I mean, they
Yeah.
definitely picked the guy for being like, I mean, these guys, like all the augments have very chiseled jaws, and they're
They're very.
This guy's
Yeah.
a little softer.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right? Yeah. Everyone else has to look like have good cheekbones. That's how you know what an augment is.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
So yeah, there's this whole. I'm trying to like.
They're trying to figure out how they're gonna shut down the station or something.
Yeah, shout out the station from. Oh, yeah, and then they put Phlox in the tube. I forgot. Yeah, and then they attack it. Oh, there's a battle between the augments and the Enterprise. Meanwhile, up in space.
Yes,
There's
that's right. Yeah, the ones that are left over on the Klingon ship.
Yeah, and then finally, I think once it was Phlox in the tube, that's when the Doctor what's his name, Jaemeel Lucas. That's when Dr. Lucas cracked. He didn't care
Yeah.
about that other guy,
Yeah,
but he was
no,
like,
Yeah, the other guy's like, I never wrote notes to him. I don't give
Yeah.
a shit.
Not friends with the other guy.
not enough, not
The
enough.
other guy ate his lunch out of the fridge once.
Yeah, he's
like, "Fuck
literally
that
over
guy."
here. He's dead over here, and he's like, "No, don't kill my Floxy."
That guy wouldn't play on our intergalactic bowling team. Fuck that guy.
So he gives him the codes, and Phlox is released.
And Phlox is even smiling while he's in the tube.
And and Schmeik says he's not coming with them. They have kind of a goodbye here between Sung and him. And Sung and most
Turns
of
out
them,
to be more of a goodbye.
yeah, leave. Fight here. Oh yeah, there was this other augment that they gave some lines to in this episode. I forget his name, but he's there when Sung is showing off the green screen room.
Green screen
with
with all the embryos. Yeah.
with all the embryos, and he's like, "You were over there, and you were over there." I had to pick 19.
Talarian plague.
Rigelian fever. You want-
Oh, he's just downloading all of them.
Sinococcus novi type A.
Encephalitis. Excellent.
Talarian plague. Yeah, all the best stuff. There's more. Yeah, they lock these guys away. Archer gets beat up here. Is this where he kills Schmeik? Because
Schmikey gets killed.
Yeah, Archer has
but he just shoots him cold blood. He doesn't they're not in a tuffle or anything.
Yeah, because he beats up Archer first. Like Malik beats up Archer because they have a kind of a fisticuffs. But
this is where he shoots him.
Yeah, he just shoots him. I can't let you take my brother, and he just shoots him.
So you notice here now, Malik is getting easier for Malik to kill people. Like it's just
yes, yeah. He's
going serial now.
Yeah, and he feels righteous. I mean, he said, and I'm sure he believes, I'm putting him out of his misery. Like this is much better for him to die than to live with you,
or to live a life of being inferior.
Right.
Because he's a bit elitist. I don't know. I'm just gonna say
just a little.
Just
a tad.
Thinks he's better or something.
Augments.
So anyway, by the end of the episode, Archer has to save the day by climbing up a tube to stop the pathogen from killing everybody on the station. And that's the next. So that's the end of Cold Station 12.
Standard.
I love the beginning of the next episode, though.
All right, so
it is
Adam,
so stupid.
Let's have a check-in here with our Cold Station 12 trivia.
Fun facts check-in with Adam.
This is one thing here with John Billingsley, who plays Dr. Phlox, and oh my gosh, what's his name? Dr. Lucas, the actor's name.
Richard Riley.
Richard Riley. They actually played together in Man from Earth in 2007 in the movie later on. So the Star Trek connection continued, and that was kind of cool.
Oh, that's where I know Richard Riley from. He was Bataille in The Inner Light. The episode where
yes, he was.
Picard plays the flute.
Yeah,
that was like his best friend.
He's been in everything, though.
Oh yeah, he was in that too. Yes, he's been in so much. Like I'm sure if we should go find.
Oh, I wouldn't even want to look at his.
And he was apparently in the Fairhaven Voyager stuff, which I could not do without.
Yeah.
So
No one cares. Okay, so this is I'm curious at Dave. Maybe you can help me find. Let's find it. But on the surface of Trialis 4, we're soon raised the Augments. There was a large device composed of two long glowing red tubes. The device has been seen in many places in Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, including most interestingly in Dr. Soon's lab in Datalore. It's also seen in the control room of Cold Station 12, but with blue lights rather than red.
I'm trying to see if I can see what you're talking about, but
so blue lights rather than red in Cold Station 12.
I think you just had it, Dave. Go back.
I don't see what Dave's seeing.
It's down on the bottom of our screen when you're in the admin. I thought you passed it, but maybe you didn't.
The device was first seen in Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan on Space Laboratory Regular 1. Aside from the Star Trek franchise, the device was also featured in Airplane 2.
There, go back, right there. Bring that one up. That blue thing in the background. Is that what you're talking about, Adam? When it comes up, eventually,
it's trying to come up. I don't know why. I never used to have this issue.
Damn you, StreamYard!
This thing, or is it this thing?
No, it's the blue tubes are referring to here.
This thing. So normally this be all red, right?
Yeah, normally red. It was also in Airplane 2, where it was seen on lunar base commanded by William Shatner's character Buck Murdoch.
I totally forgot William Shatner was in that movie.
Or you mean this thing here in the background?
No, they said red tubes. So it must be those things on the wall there on the right.
They're not red in this scene. You said they were blue.
Yeah, in this scene they're blue.
Yeah.
Well,
this is kind of blue.
All right. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. All right.
We're already an hour in. We still got another episode. We're making pretty good time for 2 episodes so far, though.
Yeah. Well, not a lot actually happened in this episode. It was kind of
no. There's a lot of filler.
Yeah.
This could have easily been a 2-episode arc.
Like Adam was right. It dragged in that station.
The Cold Station stuff. Definitely.
I think even less happens in the last episode.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It could be a 2-episoder. The end of this episode has to be an ode to the Andromeda strain in 1971, a long climb through a central conduit, klaxon blaring to stop a biological research station destruction. And then we'll move on.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Good book.
Yeah, very good book, actually.
All right, moving on.
Oh, okay. Well, so coming
number 3.
Now, okay, so we're coming on to the 3rd episode, the Augments.
Malcolm's like, I'm still useless.
So Archer has to get rid of the pathogens, and he's being guided by Malcolm, I guess.
He has to do the standard Star Trek thing where you pull something out of one thing and put it into another.
Yeah, you pull it out, you pull it in.
That's how you. That's what's
Sometimes-
referred to as Star Trek bypass.
Yeah, sometimes if you're fancy, you have to turn it and then push it back in.
And sometimes there's multiple chips where you have to just move them in different orders.
Sometimes
Right.
you get assimilated by a Borg in the middle of the whole thing.
Yes,
You
that
know?
happens.
So
too.
it's
Yeah.
it's a kind of
It's
one
a
of
risky
those things.
business whenever you do that.
All right, so Archer has to save the day. We come back after the credits,
So their plan is Archer doesn't have time to come back down to get into a safe area. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna shoot a phaser at the top of the tube that he's in. He's gonna fly out, and they're gonna transport him.
they're gonna beam him out while
That's
he's being
the
sucked
best
into
they
the
got.
vacuum of space.
That's the best they got.
Yeah,
Who's
that's this is the plan. Seems
And
all
this
right.
chick who we've never seen before, I don't think.
I feel like
No,
she
we
goes
do.
from she wears red pipes in one scene,
She's
and then
like
she's
female. She's like female Malcolm.
and then she's gold. She's wearing gold uniform in another scene. Like was
Yeah, we do see her. All we see her is just in that look. She looks at the camera. That's all she
I
does.
think she's one of those like extras, kind of like Next Gen had, where they had those two extras that were always in scenes but never had any speaking roles.
They never have names. Yeah,
Yeah.
either, but yeah, they're always there.
The tall guy and the woman with the shaved side head. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's where they're blasting the tube, and so Archer gets. He could have just.
The
Held
CG on this is terrible too. I love it.
It seems like him holding on to the ladder would have been better because then he would be stationary versus moving and trying to beam him out.
Well, he had to get out though.
He had to get
Yeah, the-
away from the reactor.
He had to get away
Oh,
from that.
That's
okay.
the idea. Yeah.
So they beam him out in the process, but I don't know. So
I
guys,
do love that he's frozen when he hits.
He's now
the
a
pad.
meat popsicle.
but like in Strange New Worlds, like Chapel and Benga, they were like in space even longer and seemed like they were able to
Like
take it better.
I think we agreed actually when we watched that episode of Strange New Worlds that it's not doing it justice like Battlestar Galactica did.
Like Battlestar did, yeah, with the chief in Cali.
Yeah.
Battle
so-
what?
Battlestar Galactica, recognize.
Oh,
And
not familiar with such a franchise.
Oh, it's the best.
the Augments, guys, part 3 of this epic 3-parter. So
The
we catch
conclusion.
up with Malik and Soong on the Bird of Prey. Is this where he starts talking about his plan to get a new colony for them, a new home? for
Yeah,
them?
and Malik's all mad because he said, "We're hiding again. We're hiding again. That's their plan.
We
We're
shouldn't
hiding."
hide. Yeah, we
We
should
should-
be attacking them and fighting them.
And ruling them. You know, and Soong is really starting to get annoyed with
Well, he's
Malik.
pissed off. He's like, you're just being a petulant child, you asshole. Like, think about this.
Yeah, and Malik's getting more and more pissed off. He starts talking to Persis, and Persis is sort of trying to broker some kind of peace between them, or talk to them. You know, anyway. But back with Enterprise,
Look at all them Klingon ships just hanging around. That's a lot.
this is Starfleet explored space, and then a lot of Klingon territory.
Well, and you have like battle cruisers, and then you have all these little cruisers that are beside them, and I
Yeah,
like that. That's so
You
cool.
know what? You're right. This opening was too long.
to get into the actual meat of the episode,
Yeah. Oh, the Mar Burton director. I missed that.
just for this last episode.
Just this episode, yep.
Yeah. Archer's getting warmed up, I guess. He's got
I like how he's got like chapped lips and he's got like fucking.
You know,
his
he
eyes
just
are all
started
shot.
looking good again from all his beatings he took with his indie, and now
right. But I like that like he went into the vacuum of space and they kind of like let those effects linger for the rest of the episode.
Is it wrong that I like beaten Archer better than clean Archer?
Nope, not wrong at all.
Okay.
We get a reference to the Briar Patch here because this is where
Briar Patch, yeah.
from Star Trek Insurrection, Jody's favorite movie.
Which maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
And Clock to Kel Brock.
And Clock to
That's
Hell.
Cal Barak, yeah.
That's
Uh,
from DS9.
Yeah, so they call it Clock Del Clock Brock, which is from the Blood Oath episode, which is where the battle Core. So Core fought a battle here against the Romulans in the Briar Patch at some point.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Them Briar Patches, man, they're useful.
Yeah, 2271, a century later.
Right. Is this where Malik? Yeah, he's also saying about let's hide it, but he also talks about the bot. We need to find the botany in the bay. We need to find Khan. He got away or whatever. And he's like,
Well, and yeah, Eric's like, it's a myth, man.
it's a myth. It's not real.
Turns out he's wrong, but anyway,
Turns out Eric Soong's wrong. Yeah, and Malik was right.
Alec was right about something.
Yeah, it was about the only thing he's right about. In terms of if he had found Khan and those guys, they would have probably done some damage. So this is there's those scenes here. Archer back on the bridge,
Sitting in the chair.
he sits in his chair here.
Holy shit, he was sitting.
He's a little tired.
We gotta have Archer. We need to do
Yeah.
Archer bingo.
And then the scene. Oh yeah, so there's here in the laboratory where Sung is getting ready the embryos. He said because he's going to turn off that gene that turns augments into dicks. That's his
That's
plan
good.
here.
That's handy.
Right? He's like I didn't know how to do until recently, but there's a gene I can turn off. You guys just wanting to murder everybody, and
the murder gene. We're gonna
that
turn that
murder
off.
gene you seem to have really turned up high. Well, I can turn that off, and so you won't be also murdery and all that stuff.
You guys are a lost cause, but
yeah.
the
But
new
the next ones will probably be better.
Right. Well, just like I say, like they don't have superior compassion. They don't have superior kindness.
But I also think that's part of what Eric's character is going through. He's realized that these guys, even though he made them to be perfect, they're not perfect. They're actually far from it.
But
Right.
that's the
Now he
beauty
wants to
of it.
define it more, right?
Exactly. I love it. Like he's given up on them.
Yeah.
And-
At this point, he's like, "You guys are a fucking lost cause. You're just running around killing everybody. We gotta get some more control going on here."
He's like, we're exactly who we should be. We were born this way. That's what Malik says.
these guys are lore, and Bashir is data. That's
Right,
the work.
More or less. Is this Enterprise catches up here with them?
Oh, he's not dead, Malik, you jerk.
Oh yeah, he said he sounds pretty confident for a dead man, Malik.
I like
a
that
good
line.
line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What their plan here is they launch out the Denobulan.
Dave, go back to Paul there. Look, another blue uniform.
Yes, but it still has the blue piping on it and the assignment patch and that kind of stuff.
Maybe she just wears something that kind of represents her culture. Plus, she's in Starfleet.
Well, and
Yeah.
I guess you could say this is the first
Now,
science uniforms. First science.
There is episodes later on in the season where she's in an actual Enterprise uniform, so that does happen.
Yeah.
It happened last season when they did that alternate timeline and stuff like that alternate
Yes.
future.
Yeah,
right.
she was in.
They think that people watch it because she wears a tight outfit, but that's not why people watch the show, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people watch Voyager.
Well, I think that
Let's be honest.
that's not why I watch it. Like,
Well, no. A
so
lot of people didn't, but there was a lot of people that did. Sex appeal
Yeah.
sells, man.
I think the fans are smarter than that. So it's
Not all of them.
Yeah, the ones you want. So it's anyway. So they're Enterprise is chasing the bird of prey here during this part of the episode. They just launched the Denobulan shuttle with the pilot.
Well, and they do that slingshot move like they do in Picard. where
Yeah.
they're like, we'll throw it at a planet.
Yeah, they literally they throw the shuttle at the planet, and so they kind of force Archer and Enterprise to save her,
Yeah.
and let them get away. Is kind of what this is.
Which-
Archer.
Isn't a bad plan.
No, and, again, Sung, he's willing to be very devious in his pursuits. He's willing to put people's lives in danger, but not really kill them because he knows
doesn't want to
Archer.
get his hands wet. That's
He knows Archer will save them. It's like throwing somebody off a building, and Superman's going to come and save them, but it's still you still threw them off the building. So
I don't know. It didn't work out for Spider-Man too well.
Disagreement here between Malik and Sung. This is really where their relationship.
Well, I think this is where he says, "Well, I have the bioweapons as well."
Oh yeah, he says I have bioweapons. We can launch them. And
And he's like,
take-
"What?
Yeah,
you
we can
remove
start,
that stuff from the
we
station?"
can go. I can go from my murdering a few people to like full on genocide. I'm ready.
Yeah,
Dad.
I can take out planets, man. We're
I'm
good.
ready to follow in the footsteps of the eugenics wars. I what do they say? 35 million? That's nothing. We're-
Hold my beer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of more of the philosophical things breaking down here. There's a scene here with T'Pol and Trip.
Yeah, and this is where she's like, you don't talk to me much, and he's like, well, what do you want me to talk about?
We've been busy.
You
We've been
fucking,
busy.
you fucking married You fucking married somebody, man.
You married that boring guy with the blue eyes.
You rather have the boring guy with the blue guys than me.
No, he acknowledged he did it for your mom. He did acknowledge that.
So she could go be a professor again, which was apparently important.
Well, and then literally in the next arc, we find out that she's not a professor anymore.
Oh, really? So it was all for nothing?
It's all for nothing.
Oh,
It's
Anyway.
extra all for nothing. Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So that
my
episode's
God.
going into the negatives now, Kevin, for you.
It's
We might have to rescore that episode.
I just don't understand her choices. Like, I don't understand T'Pol's choices. Like, it's
Well, T'Pol's going because T'Pol is very orientated on her culture.
But okay,
She's very big on her culture.
if she was, then she wouldn't be here because she would have had to spend a year on Vulcan after getting married.
Yeah,
So
but he agreed that she didn't have to do that.
No, he did he? Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
All right.
He said
so-
she can go out for another year and then she has to come back.
Okay, but eventually she has to come back and then do some pon far.
I guess I'm pon faring.
Yeah.
Got to go pon far it all up.
Wifely
Right.
duties, apparently.
Yeah, of course. That chair doesn't look right for the Archer. It looks.
It looks a little too big.
You know
It's too
why?
big
Oh,
for him.
you know why,
No.
Dave?
It's
Because
because
he's
he's in
sitting
it.
in it.
Yeah, it looks
Absolutely.
it looks like it's about to swallow him up or something.
That
Like,
chair looked better in Nemesis.
it looks better. Yeah,
does.
that-
It looks like he's sitting in his dad's chair.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, not quite right.
it's a pretty cool chair, Dad.
Because even when Picard would sit in it, he would like kind of crouch forward, you know. And,
Yeah, he'd be like,
yeah. Anyway, is this Persis and
she's
Malik?
like, what, genocide? This seems like a bad idea. He's like, nah, it's a great idea.
Oh, this is where he's basically planning to overthrow Soong, and she kind of decides to go along with it because, like she'll explain later, he's too dangerous. He can't be reasoned with because they kind of throw this coup onto him, onto Soong, and they take over, and Persis kind of goes along with it or pretends to go along with it at least.
I felt this scene for me was kind of weak. You know,
Yeah.
he didn't fight too much, and they weren't that. You know,
But I actually think it's more like he's accepted that this was going to happen anyway.
yeah.
So to me, it almost makes me feel like Eric's actually up to his own plan to like figure out how he's going to get around it because he already knows it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Like, that's why I kind of got that vibe
Yeah,
from it.
maybe.
but, yeah,
Because it
like
kind
he
of makes sense.
expected it. That's why he wasn't surprised.
Yeah, well, it kind of makes sense because he's kind of getting a sense of who these people are, especially Malik now.
Hey,
I think
Roshi's in this episode.
he also has a heavy dose of that I'm better than you arrogance.
Right.
Yes.
I'm smarter than you. So he's not worried about Malik. He's like, I'll
He even feels that for Malik.
guy.
Yeah.
Who Malik is supposed to be smarter than him, technically, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, looks here on the bridge. I'm trying to
Holy
remember.
shit, Mayweather's in this episode too.
He's got not too many lines. I'm trying to remember what the hell they were talking about here.
I don't remember at this point.
Anyway, this is where Persis comes and talks to Soong, I guess in his quarters or cell or whatever he's in. And Persis says, you know, like they kind of have
Always staring at his forehead.
yeah. They wrote his lines onto his forehead.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, so she helps him escape after they have a little bit of some words. She turns off the internal sensors and whatever. This ultimately gets her killed.
Yes.
But yeah, the Soong leaves, gets into an
And
escape
an
pod.
escape pod from a Klingon ship.
Right. Why do they have it? I don't know.
It's weird.
Maybe they took it from the Nanoblian ship.
No.
It looked like a Klingon ship. It looked like a Klingon escape pod. Anyway,
I've
so
never seen one. I wouldn't know.
they pick up Soong in this thing. I guess it had a little bit of a steering wheel on it, but I just like how they open it up and it's
They're
just
like, howdy.
Archer's like, I'm going to totally throw you in the brig again, and then totally let you out again.
So you're gonna be back in that cell that you like?
Yeah,
So he's gone from the cell at the beginning of the show when he was like picked up
This guy's locked up all the time.
to the cell on the Enterprise to the cell on the Klingon ship. Now back to the Enterprise cell.
yeah, and he'll eventually be back on
And
the
then he'll
cell
be
on Earth
back on the cell on Earth at the end of the episode.
by the end of it.
That's
So,
5 cells. That's a lot of cells.
True. Even everyone locks him up, even his kids.
He does a lot of traveling for a guy in jail. Yes,
He does, yeah. Like his frequent flyer miles must be insane.
But he says, because apparently he tries to escape that prison on Earth many times, right? And he's like, that's just what I want to do when I clear my head. I just escape. You know, I have a problem. I can't go for a vigorous escape attempt.
Indeed.
Anyway, so he convinces Archer to kind of let him help because he's convinced the augments are out of control.
Yeah.
They're going to launch a bioweapon. I think Archer talks to Trip and to Paul about it next. And then this is the scene where Malik in bed confronts Persis.
Where'd they find all this baby oil on a Klingon ship?
Did they just like make Whoopi? Did that just happen?
They had sex and then he
kills her.
Like he had to have one last fling or whatever.
Might as well have one more, right?
Yeah.
well, he is a psychopath, so
Kind of makes sense.
right, like
Yeah.
kind of on brand.
Yeah. So he's like, the only people who had the codes were you and me. It could only have been you and me who let father escape till I find the traitor. And then, it starts to get heated between them. Not in the sexy way, but more in a I'm going to kill you way.
I was really hoping she would take him out, but
yeah.
makes sense that she didn't. But
Yeah, but he's apparently stronger. He wins this fight. He throws her against. He I don't know. He breaks her.
he
arm or
throws her
something.
around though.
Yeah, and then he stabs her, and then he kisses her as she's dying.
What an asshole!
Yeah,
Psychopath.
Yeah.
Now you're like, I want somebody to kill this guy. I don't care who does it.
yeah. And it takes he even comes back. Well, we'll get to that part, but he comes back for he's not really dead. He's somehow alive.
Yeah. Okay. Explain that.
Oh, I can't.
I like to call that Die Hard.
Yeah,
Just-
Die
you
Hard
know
with
that,
a
right?
Vengeance.
Yeah, one thing at the end there where the guy he's literally getting carted out, and then all of a sudden he goes to shoot somebody. It's like what?
The Klingons show up at this point, right? Too after that,
Yep.
they start threatening Archer that they're going to blow up Archer because Archer was pretending to be a Klingon ship.
You'd think they'd have a better LoJack on that bloody ship, man. Like it's taken them this long.
Yeah,
Because the Enterprise was impersonating a Klingon ship,
Oh, that's
Right.
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 and now they're caught because they're going too fast to maintain that.
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, and then Soong tries to negotiate with the Klingons in Klingon. Captain Archer's are over people. Let them continue on their way. And he's just like,
Come on.
That might be my favorite point of this episode. Just how useless everything he said was. It
Yeah.
was never going to work.
Especially to a Klingon. Like
yeah. He's like, well, I tried. What do you want from me?
he's
You
like,
know?
well, that's all I got.
I would have loved to have seen that they call it a D5 battle cruiser, which I guess is the precursor to the D7. And so yeah, but we don't actually get to see it on screen. Is this where they
Gotta love those grapplers.
Oh, maybe is that what? Oh, no, I guess that is it, right?
Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah.
Actually, that is it. Yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
boy.
I don't like it as much, but
It's okay.
Anyway, a good solution though.
It doesn't scream Klingon to me though.
yeah, it does. But it could be. I think that the head of the ship could be more rounded and
Yeah. Anyway,
using that grappler to
that
grapple.
grappler literally has to be the best thing that they've ever had on that ship. Like it just does everything.
yeah. Look how this ship have these guns on the side, so that's kind of neat.
Oh yeah, it's got little port side guns and shit. Yeah,
Even the crew on Strange New Worlds like the grappler.
that's true. Yeah, they did.
They
mention
talked
that.
about the remember the grappler? Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, there's a reason you don't use it anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
I wonder why. And he's like, so there's 3 Klingon colonies here, and we'll just drop the thing in the atmosphere over here and kill them all. It'll be great.
right, because their plan is to kill the Klingons, so the Klingons will go attack Earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Earth hasn't had enough fucking problems already.
Yeah. So now, and I think Soong does have a line like a Klingon invasion would make the Xindi crisis look pretty mild. And he's like, "Are you working on speaking Klingon, learning Klingon?" I think he says that in part 2.
It says it in the first part, I think, actually.
Yeah. Just like that, you better get used to the idea.
Better learn Klingon.
And at this point in history, the Klingons, if they wanted to, could easily defeat Earth.
Yes.
So,
But they got other problems.
yeah. I think the problem is that they're too easy to defeat, so they won't bother. So, anyway, so they destroy this weapon, this biogenic weapon.
I'm supposed to believe that Malcolm is competent here.
Yes, Malcolm did something.
Malcolm did something.
Yeah, Archer says, Malcolm do
did
something. Malcolm then
did
did
a
that
thing.
thing. Malcolm fires the torpedoes, and then the torpedoes hit that torpedo, and they save the day.
But the other one was like a good 6-7 seconds ahead of time. Like, are the Enterprise torpedoes much faster?
There she is again.
There she is, but now she's wearing gold.
Yes.
What's going on? Or is it
Maybe-
the same person?
I don't think that's the same person.
Maybe it's not. I don't know.
That's okay.
Well, maybe it's just two sisters. You don't know.
Anyway, but here, because to your question, Jody, and earlier on, because they're like, let's target the bridge, and they say it won't work. It's too heavily shielded. Attack the neck.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so-
in the wild, the neck is one of the most volatile areas on a body of an animal. Like that's why I don't get why this should be a stocky ship that doesn't have a neck.
I like
That would make more sense. But anyway,
it's a bird. Baka! That's my bird sound. Anyway,
that was fantastic.
Yeah, this is good. Good bird sound. Solid.
Good bird, very solid. I give it a 9 out of 10.
They attack the neck. It works. It kills most of the augments. Of course, not Malik. He's the only one to live. I thought that this, because as I was rewatching this, I was like, I guess they wanted to give him his Khan moment because he brought
this
the Khan.
was a total Khan moment.
Yeah.
Where Khan's like dying right in the bridge, and he's like a hell's
It
heart.
really missed. I really missed the Ahab. The Captain Ahab Moby Dick quote. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting the Shakespeare to come out from Hell's Heart.
Yeah.
Well, that was Melville.
stab at thee.
And
Melville.
Soong's like, let us save you. Okay. Then this blows up.
It does.
How does he live?
I don't know. This bugged me.
Because then the next scene, it's Archer talking to Soong, and they're kind of like, and then all of a sudden, like Malik comes out of the ceiling, and he's ready to go. He's ready to fight.
The only thing I can think of is perhaps maybe he was like at the teleporter controls when we saw him.
He must have been. He must have been already on the transporter pad or something because it's like it's incredible.
Well, he was playing around with some stuff like on the console there as he was like doing his like.
And the rest of those super smart augments, all the rest of them, all 17, the rest of them are all dead.
Well, they ain't that fucking smart, obviously.
Yeah,
Well, they were dead. They were dead in Wrath of Khan. Everybody's dead. Except
That's true. They all died.
Yeah. So then he comes. He's throwing around Soong. He's punching him, but then Archer just shoots him through the chest.
I love how they show the like see-through hole though. That's just so silly.
Yeah, and Archer's like, well, that does that. And
Has a
I don't
man
know
ever
what the
looked?
kickback on that gun. Yeah, he looks so awkward with that gun.
That is the Kevin Costner effect right there. Kevin Costner makes a gun when he's holding it look less dangerous.
It's true. It's true.
even on Yellowstone.
I don't think you would be holding it that high though. Like,
Yeah, he like really bracing it against his shoulder there. Yeah.
like if he was aiming with a sight, which makes sense, and then he'd be bringing it down, but then you wouldn't be bringing it down completely level. You'd probably be bringing the nose down first, and then like that. So I don't know.
Yeah. I guess that's how you kill an
Either
augment.
way, Archer sucks with weapons. That's all we need to really go with here.
Well, he didn't suck here. He killed him.
Well,
but yeah,
at that range, I don't think it was too fucking hard.
no, it wasn't. He could have actually killed Sling in the process. He probably wouldn't have minded.
He should've
Anyway,
just
Probably
clipped
not a
him in the leg.
concern.
not a concern. They
Yeah.
put Sung back in the cell, but guess what? They're not going to destroy his notes and letters anymore.
No,
they're
they preserve them
gonna put them in storage
because they might help humanity one day.
because Archer went on a limb here for Sung, I guess, or something. And they, this is where he's like, you know what? Forget genetic engineering, even though it's been my life's work. I think cybernetics. It comes out of nowhere. It makes no sense. It's
like
a
it.
stupid ending. It's if they're gonna do it, then set it up a little bit more, a little better, because it just to me it doesn't make any sense.
I think it was just a nod. I liked it.
It's
No,
really, really, really corny,
It is corny as hell.
and I
Yeah.
still like it.
It was corny as hell.
and
I'm with you,
title of
Kevin.
it-
And Jody, I liked it as well. And Dave. Sorry.
It was just corny. Like I get where Dave's coming from, though. It is like it for something that's that important to like the entire storyline of Star Trek. You would think they would put a little bit more care into it.
It's not so
but
much
no.
that he.
It's
I don't mind
literally
that.
an offline. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Excuse me,
it's not.
Brad,
It's
you
not so
think-
much that he makes that choice. It's just that it comes out of nowhere. It doesn't. It feels very forced. It's more like, hey,
It doesn't
remember
sound like
Data?
something- Yeah. Remember that?
Data's
Data?
gonna come back one day, and he
looked
you
like
know,
me. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, date. You know, it's just like I know, I get it. Sung created Data, whatever. It's fine, but
All right.
right.
So, do we want to know what the next episode is?
No,
Well, no.
hold on
Fun fact.
here.
final trivia check in here with Adam.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot. Yep.
Okay, the name Noonien in Star Trek Universe is shared by Khan Noonien Singh and Noonien Sung, Data's creator. Although the connection is not made explicit, this trilogy established a possible connection between the two characters, suggesting that a later member of the Soon line may have decided to name his son Noonien in honor of Khan, the most famous of Augments.
Right.
All right.
Okay, I can live with that.
Okay. In order to traverse the Klingon space, Archer misleads the Klingon ship by communicating through a universal translator, making it sound as he speaks Klingon. The Klingons must have learned from this because it's 140 years later in Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, the Enterprise crew tries to deceive a Klingon sentry post but cannot use the universal translator because the Klingons will detect it.
Actually, that's kind of cool.
Yep.
I love that movie.
It was one of the best.
It is the best.
Yeah. We cannot use the Klingon, the universal translators.
Oh yeah, and then they have Uhura. Uhura's
Yeah.
like laughing in the
Right,
background.
they're like, ah.
Oh.
That movie's amazing.
That movie is amazing.
So the scene where Malik and Persis are fighting actually was heavily edited by Channel 4 in the UK because of the violence of towards her, removing the whole fight between her and its conclusion. As a result, Persis simply disappears from the episode without explanation.
Way to go, England! You really
when
nailed
editing
that
goes
one.
terribly bad. Yeah.
Malik mentions the ship Botany Bay and Khan Union Singh from Space Seed 1967. Chronologically, this is the earliest mention of Khan in the franchise, allowing this three-parter to function as a setup for both the original series episode Space Seed and the Kelvin timeline Into Darkness, as the Enterprise is the only series canon to both.
Well, not anymore. Now Khan Strange New Worlds has come chronologically sooner.
Oh, you're right. This episode ending on a positive note, suggesting that Soon may be eventually released from prison. At this point, it wasn't clear if he fathered any biological children, since no family was mentioned.
I think he cloned himself. I think the Soongs just don't need mothers. They just clone themselves every
Maybe.
so often and
Maybe.
make a new one.
And then finally, the scene of the gravely injured Malik crawling through the ruined bridge is slightly familiar and possibly homage to I don't think possibly, but a big homage to the very similar scene in Wrath of Khan.
Yeah. I think that's pretty apparent.
Oh, I will say one more thing. At the end of the episode, this is not here, but they mentioned May 27th. That's actually my birthday. May 27th, I think I can't remember the year, but anyway, my birthday was mentioned.
Are you related to them?
Apparently I am.
Maybe you're an augment.
I don't know what they were referring. I think it was when Soon went back into prison. So
The only superpowers you don't have is good internet.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
All right, guys. Well, we got through all 3 episode recap. I think we're ready now to actually rate this episode. Let's.
Oh,
bring
this
up
is
the
a
seven.
1 rating. I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
One rating
we're
for
rating
all
all
of them?
we're rating all
All right.
3 together. Well, no, you can make them different ratings for the 3. They're 3 different episodes
Oh, okay.
technically,
Oh, okay.
but you can choose to give them all 1 rating or not. So
Davin
Jody?
says 10 on all of them. This
Of course.
just further proves my point that Davin has no idea what he's talking about.
Davin's all over the place. What do you
Anyway.
do? So
I'm gonna give Borderland. Borderland, I'm gonna give 8.
okay.
I'm gonna give Cold Station a 7, and I'm gonna give Augments an 8.
Augments an 8. Okay, Adam.
You know what? If this was a 2 episode, I would have gone higher. And
I would have went 9 for both if they were just 2 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jody. I'm agreeing with Jody on this 100%.
8-7.
As everyone should.
Oh boy.
But thank you, Adam.
changing that right now. I will, just kidding.
Yeah. I think that my least favorite episode is probably the last one.
Really?
I think the second part is my favorite. So I'm gonna go
I'm the other way around actually.
9 on part 2. I'm gonna go 7.5 on part 1, and 8 on part 3.
Huh. Okay.
I like how Kevin went like, huh.
I think the first part was my favorite.
It's funny how all of us have a different opinion on that, eh?
So I'll go probably 9 for the first one. I think 6.5 for the second. It was long and boring. And back up to an 8 for the last one.
All right. So, well, with Davin's big 10s all dragging that up, we have an 8.5 for Borderland, 7.9 for Cold Station 12, and 8.4 for the Augments.
We should have another column that says average without Davin.
As far as the IMDb scores, they're all pretty much they're pretty much the same, 7.8, except the Augments part 3 is 7.9, just barely higher. So okay, and so guys, we did it. We managed to talk about 3 episodes in one podcast. So,
Indeed.
Well, good. That'll be good practice for the next one.
Yeah.
Because-
So the next one, I'm only going to give you the first one, which is called The Forge, which is when
Not
Earth's
the
Embassy-
Forge. The Forge.
The Forge, not La Forge, as in like let's have some cocoa no-nos and go sit on a beach somewhere. When Earth's embassy on Vulcan is bombed, by the way, best part about that is no more
don't tell 'em.
somebody. Anyway, when Earth's embassy on Vulcan is bombed, an investigation puts Archer and T'Pol on the trail of Vulcan religious faction hiding in a treacherous desert. And it is a 3-parter.
Yeah, we're gonna
And
get it's La
Paul's
Forge.
mom is in there. It's called The Forge.
Jody LaForge, how you doing?
How you doing? Jordy La Forge.
Okay, well, guys, so next week, next Monday night, I'm supposed to be interviewing that guy from the author of the Deep Space Nine book with Davin at 7:30. So
Maybe we should skip a week.
We should either skip a week, considering we just did 3, or we can do it on Tuesday night if that's open for you guys. But
I'd rather skip it.
And just meet up the week after.
Sounds good. Sure.
Okay, and then gives us
So
time to
Remind
watch.
this next week, and that gives us 2 weeks to watch 3 episodes.
So, are you guys a little surprised they did a 1 3-parter like this, and then they turned around and did it right after that again? Like,
I think they're just trying to fill space for the last season because at this point they're already canceled.
So they knew they were canceled already.
They knew they were
weren't,
canceled.
They
at
weren't
this
trying
point.
to
They were
save
just
the
finishing
show.
episodes.
they're just trying to do anything fun that
There
they never wanted
was
to do.
a fan
Yeah.
thing that they were trying to save it, but it wasn't going to happen because the other issue is that the channel that it was on was going through a buyout. So this was kind of a casualty as well. That was part of it.
Yeah. Well, it's I don't know. Like, I think they did some interesting things in this last season. Although, I feel like
Best mirror episode.
yeah, and we'll get to that. And I still have a lot of affection.
That's
for
a
that, but-
2-parter.
And as much as like that Zindi season had a lot of episodes that were pointless, I did enjoy it as a
The
story.
cowboy episode.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah. Right. So kind of interesting to see how this one measures up once we're all done season 4.
Yeah, from what I recall, the next 3 aren't as good, but they're not bad.
Yeah, I guess it depends how you're into that Vulcan stuff or not.
There's a lot of Vulcan stuff in the next 3 episodes, yes.
Okay, well, thanks for being with us tonight, guys. If you didn't know, here on Live Long and Podcast, we have all kinds of Star Trek podcasts all the time, our various divisions. Most recently, Locutors of Trek. They just released the newest episode in their audio podcast series, Dave and Davin, talking about, what are they talking about? The failures of Star Trek? I still have to listen to it.
I'm a villain.
Yeah. Oh, and we also just ranked the villains, 112 Star Trek villains, guys.
Which is easily 50 too many.
If you can believe it. We went through with Jeff Aiken from the Starfleet Academy podcast. It was a really interesting process, along with Ashley Millard. She sat through all 4 hours with me and Davin and Jeff, ranking all of these Star Trek villains. And you can see a little bit of that here on the screen if you're watching live.
I ranked higher than Khan.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you ranked higher than Khan.
You guys are out to lunch.
Even higher than Tomalak.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Even higher than Sloan.
Like I appreciate being in the tier that is that. Number one, there's some inaccuracies, by the way. I don't shit on Uhura at all. I only shit on the guy who plays with the doll of Uhura. Okay, so yeah, that's not accurate.
Right. Well, we said like you're the S tier villain, Jody, because we understand your motivations. You're sympathetic, in your pursuits. So we understand.
Gotcha.
So anyway, so go check out those things, and then we just finished up Strange New Worlds season 2. Star Trek Lower Decks coming out later this month for the newest season. So we'll talk about that in the near future. And I think Davin's got another podcast on the horizon. So lots going on in the Live Long and Podcast. We are part of a federation of podcasts, the United Federation of Podcasts, many different podcasts. Most notably right now we have Super Mater Brothers podcast, which is covering Big Brother USA season 25, Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, as well as and we got
Adam, your video is still on.
Yeah. And Adam, we have 8 weeks to go. So it's just...
I can't understand. We're on season 537 or something like that. Like it's just.
Well, it's because they have 8 seasons a year,
and 3 episodes a week, and I'm too casual about it. I'm not into the live feeds enough, but so I don't know. The Mary Mater Marvel Society talks about Marvel MCU stuff over on that channel as well. Most recently, Secret Invasion. Davin and Andre have the X-Rated podcast where they're going to be interviewing the voice of Nightcrawler tomorrow night, I believe, on the X on that show, and Graphic Histories podcast where Andre interviews all kinds of interesting people in movies, TVs, comic books, and whatnot. Hold Up, a movie podcast coming up this Wednesday. We got Jeff Mater joining Murphy and Davin to talk time travel movies, including Jeff's pick, Sphere. Is it a time travel movie? Most would say no. Technically, yes. But
does Jeff know the commitment he's got coming here? Because it's
we kind of briefed him.
That's a 3-hour tour right there.
Oh boy!
But as long as he didn't pick the American president, he'll be fine.
It's like no.
I think I'm the only one that didn't get any slag when I was on it.
Yeah, I didn't get any
give
either.
Me shit for it.
Our episode was pretty boring. We all agreed.
If you just let me pick the movie I want, David has his arbitrary lines where because I wanted to pick the contender. He's like, no, it's in 2000. It's past my arbitrary line. I'm like, why don't you just make an exception? He's like, I can't make an exception.
Oh, you know now that that's not a rule anymore for the show, right?
Damn it, Davin!
It was only a rule when you were on it.
Yeah, I knew it. All right. Other podcasts on the channel include Aim It on Track, a music podcast with Eamon Mater, my son. Talk about albums. We're looking at doing Dark Side of the Moon, the Pink Floyd album in the near future with Gary Krakolovich, and Trivial Debates, show where we argue about movies, TV, sports, and more. And the Hellbound podcast, Alex Blackburn, Michael Chan, Wednesdays, horror.
One day Trivial Debates will happen again.
Yeah, I just haven't. It's been busy, so
I'm the only one that's actually signed on for the next one.
Okay, well, I also have to get on to working with Murphy on it. It's been in other projects in the fire. Well, guys, thanks so much for the 3-hour tour that this was.
We didn't go too long, considering
it was 3 episodes. Yeah. So got through the whole story.
It didn't need to be 3 episodes. That's why.
That's true.
It 2 would have been good. I think they could have made a really strong.
And I don't want to break anybody's spirit, but the next 3 could have easily been 2 as well.
It's okay. It's all right.
So,
I like how Sam calculated we're going till November.
That's in his calculations. But
we're on what, episode 6 now? Technically 6, 7, and 8 of this season.
6, 7.
No, 7, 8, and 9.
This was episode what?
This was 4, 5, and 6.
6. So
7, 8, 9 will be the next one in 2 weeks. So yeah, he's probably not off.
We don't have it. There's a 2-parter in there, and there's
we might be able to finish this thing up before the end of the year.
I'm going for Thanksgiving. I think
we can finish it before Thanksgiving, and then maybe you guys can help me finish Deep Space Nine. So,
I'll be there, obviously.
Yeah. So, but anyway,
Kevin's been there more than the guy who founded it, isn't he? At this point.
Yes. Anyway, thanks for being with us tonight. Live long and podcast, and we'll leave you on Soong's stupid on the nose speech. Have a good one, everybody.
I've been thinking.
Perfecting humanity may not be possible.
Cybernetics.
artificial life forms.
Yeah.
Bye, Doctor.
Yeah. Bye. See ya. See ya.
I doubt I'll finish the work myself.
No, you won't. All right.
Might take a generation or two.
Next
Only
generation.
generation 2.